Welcome to the Dad Report, a podcast for dads, by dads, about dad stuff.
Join us as we sit down and have meaningful conversations with friends, family, and coworkers.
We will talk about life, family, and so much more while working towards a goal of creating a healthy idea of what it means to be a dad.
So
We're still in the business of making episodes.
that is important. That is required if you want to podcast.
Yes.
Either make or listen to. Episodes are required.
Episodes are required, which I did finally sit down and listen to Kicks and Minivans episode 1, and it was good. It was really good.
I've heard bits. I haven't done the whole thing yet, but
Yeah, I enjoyed it. He's definitely got a strong heartbeat, and we got that from our interview with him too.
yeah.
But a strong heartbeat for dads and like intentional time with your spouse and kids. And of course, I'm listening to it while I'm grumpy and angry about something with Megan. So,
Oh yeah.
God help us. God help us all.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, because that's moving stress, right? So,
Oh man. And y'all have done a little bit of that too.
Megan counted up. This is like 3 moves in the last like 7 months, I think, because we moved from Jacksonville up here, and then we moved from where we first landed to the current apartment, and then we'll move from this apartment to the house, and then hopefully we're there for years. Because I have boxes I have not unpacked since the day we moved from Georgia to Jacksonville, so I'm ready to unpack fully. I want to decorate.
Whew.
I want to spruce up a space. I want to settle. Yeah.
And then so next level you get into is you've been somewhere for a while, you look around, you're like, man, I got a lot of crap. Like I am not moving anytime soon because I'm not moving all this stuff again.
Yeah.
Like it's not gonna happen.
Gosh.
That's where I'm at right now. I'm like, and we don't have a whole lot of clutter or whatever, but we got some things in the garage or whatnot, and I'm like, that table, nope.
Yeah,
Nope,
it's
staying.
definitely enough. Yep.
So,
I feel that. I was going through, I was packing up, was it some cups today or my dresser, and I was like, why do we have this stuff? Like really? Like the amount of luxury as Americans to the fact that we own more than just the clothes on our back and maybe some spares is, and maybe it's not just Americans, but let's say first world country. So, Europeans experience similar. I guess when I think of other cultures that don't have as much, it's definitely like those living in third world or impoverished, the ones you see on, the humanity TV.
you're like developing countries, I think what they call it now. Yeah.
Oh, wow. We're going to be gentle about that. Can't just call you a third world. No, you're developing. You're still working on it. You've been doing it for 2,000 years, but you're going to get there someday, buddy, when the Chinese don't quit robbing you dry and blind.
Oh, thanks, Justin.
Just got the dad report canceled.
Oh man.
Like that. But yeah,
but you have heard of us.
Yeah, yes. But yeah, that's kind of where I was at, was packing some stuff. And I'm not just talking like Megan's items either. Like I'm talking like there were things I was looking at where I was like, oh, I think what it was Old Navy 4th of July t-shirts / tank tops. Because every year Megan goes out and we buy for the whole family whatever the 4th of July shirt is or tank top so we can get a family photo. Some kind of a photo. And I'm like, I only wear it for that photo. I won't wear it again. Like I wear about 6 shirts, and that's how you know is when you go to pack to move is the amount of t-shirts that go in the box versus what stays in the dresser shows you what you actually wear on rotation. What you
Yeah.
actually will. Now, I have a few where I packed them because I was like, I'm not wearing them soon, or I don't have a reason to. Um, but I have a few shirts that I will wear probably more like that I put in the box because I was like, I only got to get through like the next week. Her plan is to move us at least to a point of sleeping at the house and still come back to the apartment for the occasional odd and end. But next weekend, like the first weekend of December. So I was like, okay, if I just get through, this part, um, but yeah, I was just like, man, this and then like the Christmas PJ bottoms where it's you get a new set every year. I'm just like, okay, now I'm convicted, and why do I own, we own this many clothes, or I then own different, decorations and random like I have a collection of pop figures that are living in a box because I haven't been allowed to have a space to call my own. Um, but like I don't need those. That's a want. It's not a need. It's just interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're gonna start talking about how like if you can, if you got into a car today or you
Hmm.
have a car to get into, then you're rich.
Right.
You know, you if you went to your closet and said, I have nothing to wear. However, you had several
18
things to
pairs of
wear.
clothes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
So
the fact that I have like a new pair of shoes, two actually, on my Christmas list. One is a brand new mold that Vans has put out that looks kind of like the low top Jordans. And then I want another pair of Chelsea boots in a different color. Do I need those? No. But that's the convenience and luxury of what we live in is like, oh yeah, I want some new shoes. It's so sad. I don't know why we're talking about this right now. We just kind
so
of
speaking
jumped in there.
so speaking of comparing ourselves to other countries,
Yes.
um there's a little football, or as we know in this country, soccer tournament
Yes.
going on.
Very large soccer
Um,
tournament.
yes, I mean the largest sporting event in the world. Um, so bigger than the Olympics,
Mm-hmm.
bigger than the Super Bowl,
Mm-hmm.
um, all of these things. And I am a soccer fan, so
And this
I
tournament goes on for like
eat
what,
this stuff up.
29 days?
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, and typically it happens in the summertime. So like June
Yes.
is kind of like high time for the World Cup. However, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like it that on Thanksgiving Day I'm gonna get to watch some soccer. Like I'm not
I much prefer
uh
that to watching American football. I actually think I could sit down at Thanksgiving with a nice beverage in hand, full on turkey, and watch soccer, which what I love is the clock never stops. There's always something going down. The pans are uber passionate, and they're not completely wasted or rednecks, and they're just getting after it. Like
yeah,
I could do that. And with
yeah.
it being the World Cup, we got like what? How many games in a day do we get?
So today there was 4 games.
No,
And
it
we're
started
talking,
early. Did you wake up for the one this morning?
so I woke up kind of in the middle of it. I planned
Okay.
to, but um so yeah, and oh my gosh, that game
I did not
was
watch it. I had friends
unreal.
though who were setting alarms and getting up at 4:55. And for those of you watching this after this game has happened, this morning's game was Chad. Tell me the countries real quick.
So the first game we had, it was uh so Saudi Arabia was playing
Hmm.
against Argentina.
And this was what
And
Messi's
yeah,
last World Cup or his last
so
game?
everyone says this is going to be Messi's last World Cup, just because
Okay.
of his age, and it's kind of the one tournament that he hasn't won yet, right?
Now I
So,
heard there was an upset this morning.
yeah. So when this comes out, the game will have passed. So I don't mind spoiling this.
Spoiling.
Um, but yeah, so Argentina, they were supposed to kind of run away with it, and they lost. They lost 2-1. And it was crazy. They like Saudi Arabia had their number. Um, it was unreal.
Mm,
I kind of liken it to not a perfect analogy, but this is what just came to mind. When Tennessee and Alabama just played,
okay.
uh, I got a buddy, my buddy Hank. He is a huge Tennessee fan,
Yeah.
and he told me like how many years it's been since they won and all this kind of stuff, and a lot of history. And not that there's that in this game, but it's just like the fact that they won, it was just like unbelievable. A lot of people, some people thought it was going to happen, a lot of people didn't. But in this case, right, Argentina is like a world powerhouse when it comes to soccer, not
Yeah.
only with their national team, but their players go and play for some of the best professional clubs like across the world. And so they were really supposed to win, and people saw them going all the way and all this kind of stuff, and they lost. And so if they lose again, like they're out. And I
Yikes.
don't I don't remember the last time they were eliminated in the first round. I mean, I'm sure it happened. Not in my memory. So anyway, so things like that have happened. The US played their first game
Yes. I got to
against
watch that.
Wales.
Yep.
And, for people that don't really watch a lot of soccer, you're like, wait a minute. The United States is like this world power, and Wales is like this little
Itty
country
bitty.
the size of whatever it is, right? I forgot. They named one of our states that
Was it
they're
Connecticut?
yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, I
Yeah, I
thought I
think it
was
was
confusing it
Connecticut.
with something else, but yeah, Connecticut. And but the thing is, like with like globalization and how soccer has really gotten around the world, these players can kind of grow up and go elsewhere to perfect their craft, get really good, get world class, and then you know they all the players come back to their country and they represent their country.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the all stars or whatever, right? And so it's just like amazing games like this. And so we played Wales, and we were favored, and we tied 1-1. And I think that was a hard one for the US because there were some decisions made, like what substitutes you put in and who started the second half, all these kind of like
Yeah.
strategy things. And
And there was
why
a
did
lot
this,
of
why did this guy not play? And that kind of thing. And so and I was thinking, Justin, so if this podcast is coming out on Monday, then that means by the time most people will have listened to this, we will
yes.
know if the United States has made it past
Ooh.
this initial round.
Ooh.
So who do we have
Okay.
coming up? Black Friday, which again we are potentially talking in the past here. Black Friday, we will be or have already played England, right?
Oh.
Which is where the game of soccer originated. So that they have a lot of history with the game.
And
Uh,
is this the US's first time at the World Cup?
no,
Okay.
now we did not qualify for the last one.
Gotcha.
So it's been every 4 years. So it's been 8 years
Okay.
since the U.S. has been in it. And I saw England's first game. They destroyed Iran. I mean, I forget the score. It was like 6-1 or something like it's something crazy.
Yikes.
And um they were it was their game. And um so we play England again Black Friday, and that's gonna be a tough one. And
Yeah.
then the other country I named is Iran. And Iran, they don't have a great team. Um but they did have some good plays against England. By no means did anybody think that they were going to win that game, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, um, it's like this, especially this World Cup. It's like a lot of these underdogs are just winning, and it's almost like, well, dang, like what the heck is going to happen? It's kind of like March Madness. Any basketball fans out
Yeah.
there? March Madness, and it's like you got little dinky whatever just coming and just wiping the floor with some of these big powerhouses, like anything can happen. It makes it really exciting. So I'm loving it. I really want to see the US do well.
Mm-hmm.
I think US soccer has come a long way, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. We got kind of an uphill battle, I think. Because really, so in this first round, the way it works is, you basically got to be one of the top two teams to advance, and it's all based on a point system thing. So you can lose and still get in. You could
Okay.
tie and still get in. It depends on how the other teams in your group do, and and it gets really technical with goal differential and all this kind of stuff. And we need to go into all that. But I'm super excited about this
Yeah,
whole thing. So
that's
Justin,
cool.
thank you for allowing me to spend a few minutes talking about the
That's
World Cup.
that's great. I'm excited for you, and I'm hoping to get into it. So
So we grew up playing, and I don't know. I feel like as a teenager, teenager playing soccer, like it wasn't hugely popular, and so it was much more probably playing football, baseball, something like that. And so I feel like it's more popular, which is cool.
yeah, it's
Um,
blown up. It's definitely my cousin has played soccer since he was like 4,
mhm.
and I think he just had his last game of his career, as it were. He's in college, gonna graduate in the next year or so, but he's no longer able to play for the team that he was on, moving colleges, just some stuff there. But yeah, he just played his last game after like 17 years of playing a couple weeks ago. So his mom and his dad both coach some smaller, like different age groups and intramural teams, and um, they do that almost full time and on top of other jobs. So
Oh
it's
yeah,
it's it's and then I just feel like in general in schools, I feel like the soccer clubs and the soccer teams in high schools and whatnot are starting to really come up. And in Jacksonville, there's a huge dude down there. There's a huge community of soccer clubs for all ages.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's growing, and it's the thing. I mean, it's a fun sport to watch. I've always enjoyed playing it very much casually.
yeah.
Um, I just it's like I said at the beginning, like it's constantly moving. I'm not getting bored. They're not stopping the time. Like I know typically, all right, this thing's gonna last an hour and a half. If I want to go catch a movie afterward, I got that buffer time for it. Whereas I feel like in American football, it's like you're committing 4 to 6 hours to sit and watch these oversized dudes who are now losing brain cells smack into each other. Sorry. If you're an American football fan, I'm sorry. I've just never had a great opinion of it. I've never enjoyed it. I have had people try to explain it to me, including my wife, and I just cannot get into it. So, my apologies.
Yeah, I do watch I do follow a few teams in football. I feel like I like college more than the NFL, but I live in Jacksonville, so I root for the Jags. Not not super not super passionate about it or whatever, but I will I'll root for them, turn on the TV, watch it, that kind of thing. But so one last thing I'll say about the World Cup. I think I did forget to mention this. So this time around the World Cup is in the nation of Qatar,
Mm-hmm.
and there it's very controversial. I would say it's been rumored that money exchange hands to allow it to be held there, but I feel
Oh,
like I feel like there's some documentaries that have been done, and I feel like it's pretty much a sure thing that happened. So I think it kind of goes beyond rumor. But you know, um, it is there. So that is the reason why it is being played during
in the
Thanksgiving
winter.
time. Because in the summertime there, it's like 120 degrees or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
So they had initially had all these crazy plans and technology about how they were gonna, block the sun, provide shade,
Cool it
that
down.
clearly did not happen. So, although from
Uh,
what I understand, the weather is much nicer this time of year there, and so that is why it is being played Thanksgiving. So one benefit we get out of that is, took some time off for Thanksgiving, and so I get to watch some World Cup during the day, which is
there you go.
not something I've experienced before, so I appreciate that. But this is a very controversial one. Like I said, ESPN did a great documentary. I'm sure there's other ones out there, but just where they kind of followed some of the stuff. And so that part is very crazy. And I think one of the things I feel bad about is that like these kids that have really put their whole life into getting to this level, now they're
Mm-hmm.
kind of overshadowed by some of these human rights things that are going on,
Mm.
and so anyway, I hope all that we kind of use this as a you know like as a magnifying glass on the thing, and we're able to write some of these things. I really do. But here we are. So they are hosting. That is out of our hands.
Yep.
And for that, we get the World Cup, great soccer around the holidays.
Fantastic.
So with that, I will try to be thankful. Um, there we are.
There you are. You are
Go
thankful.
USA.
That's right. That's right. Oh man. Well, Thanksgiving is coming up along with then Christmas right after it. So we got to talk a little
Yes.
bit, I think, to some, especially as like dads, husbands with kids and in-laws. How does one go about navigating family holidays?
Goodness.
Doesn't
I
take
mean,
too long. I mean, we could just go simple. What's your favorite, what's your favorite fixing on the table?
yeah, it is good. Definitely good to see people that we don't always see. So that part is awesome. Um, I will say one thing that we started doing with our kids, like with little kids, right? They love opening things. It's great. As my kids got older, and I give credit to Shauna on this. I don't remember where we really got the idea from, but I'm pretty sure it was her idea. Where instead of giving them like big things, we started gifting like experiences. So we
Mm,
would, say, so one year, I think my mom gave us this, got Pierce and I tickets to go see Jim Gaffigan.
okay.
And that was awesome. We had a great time and he loved it. And I remember asking him afterwards, I was like, hey, was this a good present? He's like, oh, yeah, that was awesome. And so we try to, even if we gift a thing, we try to have it be a thing that we can like, enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things I'm pushing this year is potentially like maybe a Nintendo Switch, possibly. Uh
Then you can play Mario Kart with us.
yes, 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 we can. So that to me would be in the realm of giving an experience because it's something we can all do together. They can have their friends over,
Yeah.
have a good time, and so that is something that has worked out well for us. I find that experiences have been good, things like that, like concerts and whatnot that we've done. So we like it. No shame. I know some people, their love language is gifts. Just so happens that happens to be nobody in my immediate family. So because of that, we try to shake it up a little bit. But if you like the gifts, no problem. Keep giving, you know, ugly Christmas sweaters and
Yes.
whatever it is that you do.
Yes.
But yeah, so that's something that we started, which has been cool. And we love seeing family. And I'm getting to that place where it's like, look, I want you to come over. I want to see you. You don't bring a gift. Like bring something we can eat
Yeah.
and let's just sit down and have some good time together. Like I feel like I'm getting old, but that's uh that's really where I'm at. Like I just want quality time with people
Yeah.
uh and
Is this
anything
for
else just
Christmas
gravy.
or is this for Thanksgiving that you're talking about?
Yes. So
Okay.
obviously gift giving, Christmas, right? But
Right.
But yeah, I really enjoy. And this Thanksgiving for us is gonna be a little weird because, well, no, not weird, just different. Um, we're gonna be going down to my older brother's house. He lives down, not about 20 minutes from us, and
Okay.
hanging out with him. Uh, we usually have some more people, but that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing this year. So I'm kind of
Yeah.
looking forward to getting together with him and having some soccer on. I believe Brazil
Yeah.
is playing
That should be good.
uh early afternoon on Thanksgiving, so we'll be enjoying that. And then,
They should not be allowed to behead anybody at this World Cup, so that's good.
yeah. Although I don't know.
You
It's
don't
getting
know what I'm
kind of
talking
crazy out
about,
there.
do you?
I guess not.
Though there was a World Cup where the fans got really mad. It was either Brazil or Argentina, I can't remember. And they rushed in and beheaded a ref. So if you do a quick Google search and just type in like soccer beheadings, what I'm talking about should arise to the top of your Google population list. I think it was Brazil, which is why I always tie it back to Brazil. So he's for those of you who are not watching on the YouTube, uh
Yeah.
Chad is currently searching it to verify. He's my fact checker. I don't come in prepared.
Brazilian amateur football referee was
Oh,
lynched,
amateur football.
beheaded. My goodness. Holy moly.
So not World Cup.
People crazy. Yeah.
But yes, was beheaded over soccer and in an amateur league. So yikes.
Yeah. Um, wow.
Yeah.
So, Justin,
Yeah.
why don't you tell us about your holidays?
Oh Lord. So actually we just celebrated, I know. So we just celebrated Thanksgiving this past Saturday with all my extended cousins, aunts, uncles on my mom's side.
Okay.
Grandparents. They live in Tennessee, about 2.5 hours from where we're at. And we've been doing that since my parents got divorced because of the rotation of when Thanksgiving actually fell. Like one year be my mom's, next year be my dad's. And so just to um make it easy for scheduling purposes, and it meant that everybody in the extended family could be there, and it allowed like my aunts and uncles to go do Thanksgiving with their in-laws if that's how it needed to happen that year. We just started doing it the Saturday before. So every year the Saturday before is our big Thanksgiving. And then as I've now gotten married on Thanksgiving Day, I we go over to my in-laws. They cook a full meal that we never eat the entirety of.
Mm.
We attempt to play games in the evening and hang out and return his company. Some years it goes great. Some years it's, small family
Yeah.
with issues, and it is high,
I
it
know
is what it
nothing. I know
is.
nothing about that. I don't know what you're talking about. Like,
Yeah,
it's nothing but
everybody's family is perfect,
for
yeah,
sure.
especially
Yeah.
Chad's. But
Sunshine and
no,
rainbows. Yeah.
yeah. No, it's fun though. Excited. I think Amelia this year, now that she's a little bit older and more like aware. Oh my gosh, the girl is we're finally mobile. I mean, like she is beginning to choose to walk to things. It's slow and it's that cute little like toddler waddle, but she's choosing to walk to things over crawling probably 80% of the time now. And that was like a turn,
Man.
like when we, like before we started recording, talking about this whole like kids changing overnight. Um, that was one of those like Monday, she was just, or maybe it was like last week. I don't remember because Megan sent me a video and I wasn't home. So maybe it was Sunday. But yeah, she's just okay. I'm gonna start walking to things now. Okay. And then she's super intelligent as far as like Megan left to go to the doctor Sunday night to go to the Minute Clinic. She's not been feeling well, and Amelia looks at me and goes, "Where go?" I was like, "Who? What are you talking about?" She just goes, "Mama." And I was like, "She went to the clinic." Oh,
Dude.
okay. And like just boom, boom, boom. No more of like the crying, no more of like the clingy, oh, somebody left. It's just instantly like Megan left tonight to go hang out with some fellow moms in a group, and it goes, Just watch her walk out the door and she just goes, "Where go?" I'm like, okay, like this girl's brilliant. So I'm excited for Thanksgiving for her to like
Nice.
dig into all the different, and she enjoyed it at my grandparents as well, but we didn't have her in the high chair. And oh my goodness, she went all day Saturday without a nap. I mean, so she was up at 8:30. We got in the car, trip to Chattanooga. I tried at one point that afternoon to get her to go down like on my chest, and she wasn't having it. So then we got in the car at 7:30 that night to drive back home, and she'd been up all day. So um Thursday, thankfully, she'll at least have a nap. But yeah, I'm excited. You know, the holidays with her make them fun. Holidays have always been tough for me since parents' divorce. As you get older, at least
Hmm.
for me, as I've gotten older, some of the magic has worn off. Christmas doesn't feel as fuzzy fun anymore. Um, like I really, really struggle with Christmas. Thanksgiving, I love the get together, but I mean, I we did family. We try to go every round. My extended family, we have this tradition where we all go around and say what we're thankful for. And this year, it just felt like people were saying it like insincerely. Oh, I'm thankful for my wife and thankful for the Lord and blah blah blah. You know, and it's like, oh man, I don't know if we need to be doing this if it's going to be insincere. Like if we're not really thankful or if we can't qualify it. Um, like tell me why you're thankful for your wife. Why are you thankful for the hardships that you're going through other than just to save face? And that's my family, so like that's hard for me because like I believe like my now granted my aunts like the women are more emotional and we have a every year there's somebody needs to get a napkin and it becomes the Thanksgiving napkin of who cries into it and it's a whole thing. But um I don't know if we do that really with my in-laws. It's such a small family get together. We just kind of hang out. We'll probably play
That's cool too.
Catan. We'll probably play. I've been trying to push the games thing. Megan and I really like playing games. We just really struggle at getting them started. So
Okay.
I think we're gonna try this year. We'll try again. I think last year we played Catan. We played Phase 10 one year and ticked my sister-in-law off to no end. Like she despised it. Just was like, I don't want to play this anymore. And the same thing goes for Christmas. For Christmas, Christmas looks different now that I'm married. It's just really difficult. Um, really just in general. So Christmas Eve has always been Chattanooga. You go up, extended family, everybody's there. It's a whole thing, so insanely packed in that tiny home. And then you drive back down. Then Christmas morning, Megan and I were splitting between my parents when they lived here and hers. Well, this year we can't do Christmas Eve in Chattanooga because I'm on staff at a church. We have Christmas Eve services and
For sure.
kind of my thing. Got to be there.
Kind of
So
a big deal.
kind of what I do, you know.
Yeah.
So I we'll be here now. I've made sure my family knows, like my extended family up there. I'm like, hey, we're gonna have a house, which is really cool. Like we're gonna have a house by Christmas, which is even cooler. So then we kind of been joking about and praying about a little bit. We're excited. I'm like, please come down and see us, like whether you bring gifts or not. And thankfully, as we've gotten older, like as we become adults, my aunts and uncles have stopped buying for us, which they needed to do. But it's still fun to see everybody. But
Yeah.
so Christmas Day this year, so Christmas Adam, which is the 23rd. So for those that don't track, if Eve is 24th and God made Adam before Eve, 23rd is Christmas Adam.
Oh
Running joke in
no.
my family. It's
Oh
great.
no, he didn't.
I did. I did. Actually, I didn't. My mom did. And my mom got it from somebody else, guarantee it. So Christmas
Okay.
Adam, Megan and I started a tradition where we do a local us Killalays. We open Well, when we were in Jacksonville, we opened up all our presents, watched the Polar Express, and drank hot chocolate and had breakfast for dinner. And we got to share that with Amelia last year. We got really cute pictures of our little 5, 6 month old crawling, barely crawling, and trying to get into presents, and it was cute. And
Nice.
um, gosh, was she 5'6"? I think so. So, this year I don't think we'll do the presents per se because we'll be local, but we'll probably still do our Polar Express, Christmas jammies, hot chocolate. Maybe let Amelia open a gift, right? Um, Hopefully she watches the movie with us and enjoys some cool down hot chocolate. And then Christmas Day we'll probably just go to we'll probably do local Christmas. I don't know if we'll do ours first or ours in the evening, but we'll spend majority of the day over at my in-laws, and theirs is really just kind of like big breakfast blowout, and then you open up presents and then you kind of just veg. The beauty this year is we have our house to go back to. I hope it doesn't sound selfish or snobbish, but there's a point where I'm like, okay, I have had my fill of social activity outside of the comfort of my home, and I would like to go back to my house and my couch and just chill. So,
Yeah. Yeah, that's a struggle that like parents will know, like especially when you have everyone in town. Like I mentioned that I love seeing people,
hmm
getting face to face with people. Like it's one of my favorite things, and it's great. But the dynamic, especially as you have kids that get a little bit older, is they
hmm
get like all these toys, right? They get
Oh,
Legos, they get cool things to build, they get, that's what at least my boys got. So
yeah,
like you're probably gonna be like doll houses and Barbies and whatever else, right? Whatever else she's into.
yeah.
Star Wars, I'm sure, of course.
I hope.
And
I'm
and other
trying.
things, but it's like you going house to house and it's like, but dad, I gotta put all this stuff together. I gotta play. It's like, we'll play tomorrow,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah. I
Like,
remember my
let's just go
dad
to this
doing that.
person's
Yeah.
house. And it's great, but it does, I think by the end of the day, like everybody's just like, oh my gosh, I don't think I could do this ever again.
Yeah. I get
So
drained. Yeah. I get drained pretty easily
yeah.
around family, in-laws. Like, I'm not trying to single out the in-laws because I also get drained with like my Chattanooga family. Like, they're great for a day. When I was younger, you could go longer. The older I get, the more I'm like, all right, hey, it's been great seeing y'all. I love y'all, but I'm ready to go. Like, especially because like I know there's a car ride coming this year. Probably look different with the in-laws because there's not a I'm stuck at only your house. Megan and I are sharing a car, so if I wanted to go see a friend, I got to figure out how to make sure they still have a car seat and a stroller. And then, oh, there's the drive back to Jacksonville, 6 hours with an infant, with all her stuff, with all our stuff, plus all of our Christmas gifts and hers.
Oh
Like
yeah.
the Forerunner last year was, I mean, it was impressive. It was impressive that we got everything packed in there and down to Jacksonville. So I think this year will help with some of that, knowing nope, there is no suitcases, there is no pack and play, there is no stroller that needs to be in there. We can literally just throw stuff in the back of the Forerunner when we say we're done, head home, keep ourselves comfy, turn our fireplace on, and hopefully by that point, most of what we need to do as far as initial remodeling is done. So we feel comfy on Christmas morning, Christmas afternoon, whatever. That part helps. So
So question that came to mind as we're talking through all these things.
yeah.
The kind of the holiday meal, all this kind of stuff. So especially around Christmas, like
hmm
what do you have in mind like to you know, uh the reason for the season, or keep the main thing, or whatever, but keep your I know we're both Christians, so keeping your eyes on, like in your heart on
hmm
what why it is that we're celebrating this, right? The birth of
Right.
Jesus. So I'm curious, like, and granted, you shared like, hey, Christmas Eve, like we're doing services, right? All this kind of
Yeah.
stuff, but I'm curious, especially young family, like,
hmm
do you guys have any do you have
So
anything, any traditions that you do, or things that you're thinking of in
we
terms of
haven't
that?
we haven't started yet. Growing up at the Chattanooga Christmas, before we ever opened any gifts, we always sang carols. mixture of worship, like, Joy to the World, Hark the Herald, along with like hippopotamus for Christmas and deck the halls,
Yeah.
figgy pudding, whatever. And then Grandpa always read the Christmas story. Actually, Grandpa and Grandma both did. Grandma read the little flip flap book one, and until we all grew up out of it. And then Amelia was born, and she got to bring it back out, and she was very excited. And Amelia did enjoy it last year. It stinks that she'll miss it this year. Um, and then Grandpa always read out of Luke 2. He always read the
Yeah.
Christmas account, that Christmas narrative. And so that was one where we kept it. I would like to introduce that. Um, we'll probably, if we start this year, I think I'd like to do it with Amelia's storybook, seeing as she can't sit and comprehend when I'm reading out of, the hefty leather bound. But that's something that I'd like to introduce, and it's something that I think our immediate family is going to have to be the one to hold that banner on, and that I'm going to have to kind of fight for. Not that Megan's against it, but her in-laws don't have that kind of tradition, and I don't think that would be the place to start it either.
Do
Like
you
it's
mean
going to be
your
something.
in-laws?
My in-laws, yeah, yeah, my
That's a
in-laws.
great way to talk about your parents, like her in-laws,
Her
man.
in-laws. No, no, my parents. No, my parents. They're good. I don't know. They're in California this year, so I don't know what they're doing.
Okay.
Because they moved recently. So that part also is hard. Is like my parents won't be here for Christmas, and like there is no plan to see them really outside of like the next time I'll see my mom is end of January because Megan's going to that Travelmation retreat, and so mom's gonna fly in to help watch Amelia, and I think we'll do some Christmas gift exchanges then. But by that point, I know a lot of people that we've talked to who have done that Christmas that late are like, yeah, you kind of lose the spirit of it, I guess. Which,
Hmm.
granted, by the time you're that far into January, yeah, you're like, oh, 2023 is already a crap show. Like, so, but yeah, that's something I need to sit down with Megan and talk about is establishing a hey, this is important. It's important to me. I don't think she'd be against it, but I sometimes get very afraid of her like opinions and feelings on stuff. So,
Yeah, so for us, a couple things I found. Um, One thing that helps with us is if we do like something where around that time, right, we like serve somebody, like it can be going and ringing the Salvation Army bell somewhere,
mm-hmm.
right? Or, going to hello kitty.
Hello, Orion is on the podcast. Hands
Orion is on
down.
the podcast for those on video.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
or so 1122, right? So we'll go
hmm
and serve at Hope's Closet, or
Okay.
volunteer, Christmas Eve service, something that we can kind of do together just to kind of keep it in view. But the last couple Christmases, Jude has said something just kind of rocked my world. He'll come to me and be like, Dad. And a lot of these kind of things happen like around, bedtime, or, when things are quieting down. He'll be like, Dad, I know what Christmas is about, but I feel really bad that I feel like I want the gifts more than I want to celebrate Jesus. And I know that's wrong, but it's just kind of
Hmm.
the way it feels. And I'm like, dude, like at 11 freaking years old, there's no way, or 10, however, 9, 10, however it was when he said that the first time. I'm like, yeah, that's real, bro. Like
Yeah.
that is real.
Yeah.
And so we'll talk through that. But I guess what I'm trying to say is like I try to like pay attention to, kind of their hearts and what they're going through. Um, and like so we talk about, okay, so what's something that we could do that will help you to kind of recenter, and a lot of times it's serving someone else.
hmm
And we try to, read through scripture. There's always good like Advent devotionals, or
Sure.
if church is doing something, we'll kind of study along with that, or you know find a cool, I don't know, something on um on TV or YouTube that we can do and just, just kind of, go back to the word through that. There's been several different things we've tried, but I think it's really just, um, it's easy to get caught up in just the craziness and we got to go see this person, buy a gift for this person. And,
Yes.
and we're not perfect with this, but one of the things I feel like we've started doing the last couple of years is being like, hey, you know what? We're going to be able to see, who we're going to be able to see. But the bottom line is we're just not going to drive ourselves crazy. And Shauna is really good about letting me know when I kind of turned into psycho parent on this, where it's like,
Oh.
oh, we gotta get here and this person's gift. And she's like, whoa, whoa, so so that's been a big learning experience. But like if you do all of the things to keep Jesus at the center. And then
Yeah.
when it comes down to actual Christmas Day, you're running your family ragged and you're stressed out
Yeah.
and they witness that. It's like, okay, what are you really making the main thing here? And so I really try to, kind of put that in perspective. It's like, what are the kids seeing? What are other people seeing? And how can I just, continue to point back to him versus just like, oh, let's spend 10 hours at the mall buying gifts for everybody, and then on the
Yeah.
way home we'll say a 30-second prayer. Like let's
Right.
let's try to keep some balance. And I feel like every year it's a little bit different. We
Hmm.
don't have big huge traditions when it comes to that,
Okay.
uh but I do feel like kind of as a family unit we're good about at least one of us saying, hey, like, can we maybe slow down? Can we just have some time where, we kind of refocus or whatever? And
Yeah.
that's good. And I know like I have tried really hard to start these like big, huge, like difficult, like, complicated traditions. And, it doesn't always work out that way. So, there's certain things that we always do. And, but really just trying to pay attention to the heart behind it, I guess, is what we
Yeah.
try to keep in mind. And when Shauna listens to this, she is going to talk to me, and we're going to talk about all the things that I forgot to say. And it's a good thing we'll have another episode before Christmas because
Yeah.
maybe I'll have
Yeah.
some more things she'll help remind me of. But
There you go. We can
but I
do it.
think
We can
that's
do a
it.
check
Yeah.
in on how you're doing. Um,
Yeah.
I think
So
my
Chad,
only,
you talked this great game. How's it really going?
yeah, I think my only, and it's not a rebuttal. My only thing is, why do we only ever focus in this season on keeping the main thing, as it were, when we should be
Yes.
celebrating every day in the same way? The other part too is we're so keen, depending on what culture or tradition you run in. Like I was having this thought, so we're gonna have 3 student services in December. Only one of those am I actually teaching anything. The second one will be an open mic testimonies night. I think it'd be cool for students to come and share how this fall semester has gone, especially as I transitioned in right at the beginning of it. And so, like, okay, this not as like an ego check for me, but really just are students growing? Are they learning? Are they plugging in? Have they successfully transitioned to a different leadership style, to the student ministry feeling a little bit different? Whatever. But also like I think it's just good for students to go take a moment and go, man, a lot happened in the last 4 months, and actually God did move, and God's doing this thing, and it's good to hear. And then the third one will be just like a Christmas party, whatever. So that first one, I'm like, man, I don't know how to teach Christmas. Like I just don't. Um, I know you can go to Luke 2, and I know you can be like, and God sent, and here's all the prophecies. I think one of the convictions I've had is, why do we always focus on the Christmas story during Christmas and not the Easter story?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's
That's
that's
such a good point.
he came he came to die. He came to be resurrected. And so I'm tempted this year to actually go, yeah, here's when he came, and end it with here's why. Like, quit just focusing all the time on yeah, he was a baby. That's great. He was a sacrifice. I don't know. I'm in wrestling with just this like, there's got to be, we get so hopped up on and I think for like pastors and in churches, that's great if you preach the Christmas story, but if you don't end it, with the gospel, I think you've missed a great opportunity, especially as people flood your doors who, like we were talking beforehand, one of your sons is experiencing, he's running into the, I would say, the average American who checks off the box saying, "Yeah, I'm religious," but
Yeah.
really doesn't follow Jesus, really doesn't know who, they know about Jesus, but they don't know there's a Greek word. Yes, I know Greek words, not from seminary. We just got really deep in Philippians 3 this past week. So
Okay.
one of them Joby uses all the time, skubulon, which is the Greek word basically for bullcrap.
Yes.
I remember hearing him say that from stage, and I was like, "Oh, this is fun." The other one was Genosko, and I'm butchering this. If you're Greek out there and listening, I sincerely apologize. I am so American and so white, so cannot pronounce Greek words to save my life. But this word, when it's in Philippians 3, I think like 12 or 16, somewhere in there, towards the end of the passage, back half, he says, "I want to know Christ." When he says that, it's not this like I want to know about Christ, but it's this like experiential, intimate, relational knowledge. So it's the way you and I know our wives. Where it's this like we're a student of them. We know it irks them. We know when they're bothered. We
Yeah.
know, that their favorite coffee is blah blah blah. Whatever. Like I knew coming into this housing thing that this is gonna take some tolls on our marriage. I knew that when she got sick at the beginning of this week, that it was going to ramp up her stress and frustration. And then on top of that, I knew that because she's not communicated to me a list that I'm going to eventually hear, and I did this morning, well, you should just know. And I love my wife, and I don't want to try, I'm trying not to grumble or complain, but I have my frustrations when it comes to my communication skills. But that's also me having experienced these trends before. And so that's a Genosco knowledge. And so I think you get a lot of non-knowing Christians who show up to church for Christmas because their grandma's dragged them out there. They're in their funny sweaters, they're holding the candle. And I think that's when a pastor needs to really, I'm not saying in a judgmental way, I'm not saying in a condemnation way, but with conviction say, guys, like the reason for the season is not just that Christ came, but that he died for you to rescue you from your sin and to do for you could not do for yourself. And so I've just been feeling this conviction lately where it's like we really have like in the Christmas season, we've made that the only season where it can ever be about Jesus except for the 1 week of Easter. Um and then I think we've also doctored it or babied it. Ha 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 ha. Cause yeah. So there you go.
Yeah, and gosh, I feel like we could go talk about this forever.
Yeah.
But
The
I
bad
have
report
that.
sequel, the theology side. We'll start our own
Well,
other podcast.
so uh, my mind goes crazy places with this. So I think about this all the time. So I will probably have that thought at some point where it's like, okay, and seeing the amazing um lights going up right across
Yeah.
town, and uh I know we're gonna have an amazing sermon
I'm not worried about, yeah, your church. I'm not really that worried
about
about.
that, but
Yeah.
my where my mind goes is, what, like we focus on this, but you know what, Jesus came to earth the other 364 days a year too.
Yep.
And
They need
so
to 33 rotations.
yeah, even if you're not, even if you're not a Christian, like let's bring Thanksgiving into this, right? So like we get together with family. I'm gonna go to my brother's house. We're gonna fry a turkey, right?
Yeah.
I'm super excited. However,
Don't fry it frozen. I watched a video where it blew up.
yes, I have. So he's done them, I'm sure. I've done one. So I'm bringing the equipment, and he's got the oil and the bird, and so we're gonna do it up. And so yeah, so we have done this before, and like the first time, we used the driveway. We took the cars out of the driveway, right? We put stuff down, so like
Nice.
nothing. We pulled out all the stops, and it was good. Um, But still, even if you got a room temperature bird, that junk will splatter. Anyway, my point my point about Thanksgiving was that like so we come around the table, have all this amazing food,
Mm-hmm.
get people that we don't see a whole lot, but like what's to say we can't have a meal of thanks and gather these people around other times of the year? Like I always have that thought,
Yeah.
and then I come to Thanksgiving and I'm like, you know what? I probably could have done that more this year than I did. And so I have that thought about a lot of things. It's like this thing that we're celebrating, being it the birth of Christ, being it, family and fried turkey or whatever. Like these are things that we can do other times of the year. And so my challenge for myself always, and I can always improve. I feel like I never really do as good as I want to do here, but is like let's not just reserve this one celebration for this specific day on the calendar, but like let's choose to celebrate it all the time. Right? We
Yeah.
were talking about Christmas music, and I'm like, I don't care if you're in the camp or you listen after Thanksgiving. I
It
used to
used to
be in
be.
that camp, and you know what? David Crowder released a new Christmas album that, by the way, was
Ooh.
so. Like, there's a couple really good
Oh.
songs on it, and he's kind of a quirky guy. He's a little different.
I feel like
Um,
lately he's been so I don't know. I haven't listened to anything of his much since Neon Steeple. So
okay. Okay. I did like Milk and Honey, right? I uh went and saw that concert with Jude. It was great. He puts on a great
mhm.
show. His Christmas album is called Milk and Cookies.
Oh,
And there's a couple of good songs on there that I liked, but for the most part, I was like,
yeah.
he's kind of put his spin on it, whatever. But I will say I started listening already, and it's like, you know what? Like, I may listen to Christmas music all year round now. Like, I don't care. I may take a break for Halloween, maybe not,
Gotta have
but
that thriller.
I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be in the rotation. And
Yeah.
there's some songs that are just awesome that I love. And those are gonna be added into the mix. And send all your hate mail to my Instagram. No problem. I will defend it. There we
If you
are.
do, at least make sure you follow us on Instagram. We will take growth even if it's by critique.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Do it. Bring it. Follow us.
Mm.
Send us all the DMs. It's great.
Nah, we're in the earlier Christmas celebration as far as I guess the music and the lights. And if it wasn't for the fact that we're moving, like Megan would have the apartment decorated as best she could. And that happened really last year, kind of 2021 still being towards the end of some heightened COVID.
Yeah.
I don't want to say like fear, but people were still kind of more on like the stress level.
Yeah.
And I don't know, we were having, I guess, like a rough year or something. And we came home one weekend in Thanksgiving, like in November, and it just everything felt so bland and so normal. And in Jacksonville, for us, especially like with the weather not really changing, like it gets cold per Jacksonville, but not like us who had grown up in Georgia where it could be 30, it's been 30 degrees every morning, all morning for the past week and a half.
Oof.
Freezing.
Yeah.
So when you don't have that, Megan and I looked at her and we were like, we're just gonna do this. And like for me, that was like a carnal sin. Like I was like, no. And I was like, I looked at her that year, like last year, and I was like, yep, let's do it. Like I think it's fine. Like it helps bring our spirits up. So we've tried a little bit here and there to watch some Christmas movies. Disney Plus's selection is kind of crap. I don't think Netflix has put together a category yet, so most of your big corporate areas are still kind of waiting to get through this weekend, and then they'll blow it all up with Christmas
Sure.
celebration stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the thing. It's a thing. So
It's
we
a thing.
doing it earlier. I can't do Christmas music all year round, but that's also because my music, like, I basically will have an album that I then listen to on repeat all the time. So right now it's Hillsong United's Are We There Yet? It's their most recent album. and there's this one song that I'm stuck on called Blown Away, where the writer of the song points out all these details in the gospel account, primarily of the crucifixion account. Um, and he does it so poetically and beautifully that like I'm moved to tears every time, but I cannot stop listening to it. Just
And what
can't.
is this? I don't think I thought I had heard it, but I don't think I have now.
I will send it to you. For those listening, it's Hillsong United's "Are We There Yet" album. So their most recent, their 2022 album. The song is titled "Blown Away." I don't care
Okay.
where you stand as far as Hillsong Church. I don't care where you stand on their pastors, their pastorship, the way
Yeah.
certain leaders have fallen inside the organization. Also, part of that's the danger of having organizations get as large as they do and let people do things without accountability. That's neither here nor there. As far as this one song in particular and this album goes, it's it's blown me away, and I cannot like stop listening to it. Every now and then, I'll break into like one of my like more student ministry playlists where it's just a lot of like Christian rap and hip hop.
Yeah.
Or I'll do a little bit of my metal scene every once in a while. But honestly, even my metal music, which I thought I'd never, not that I've given it up, but like I've definitely tapered back and am finding that I've been more drawn to this. I don't know if it's like worship. Like I don't want to be that guy who's like, I only listen to worship music. Like, no, I'll listen to, secular music as well. But I'm finding that when I'm working in the office, what I'm turning on, and not even out of the sense of, oh yeah, well, I'm working in a church office, but it's just like, no, this is just what I want to listen to. This is just where I'm at in my convictions right now. So, and even around here, like Amelia and I were hanging out last weekend. Megan was out of the house, and so I turned on Elevation Worship's album Lion, and she
Okay.
and I hung out, pulled out my acoustic guitar. Not that I can play, but I thought she might enjoy tapping on it, and she did. She loved it. She had a lot of fun taking the pick and dropping it inside the guitar. So I had to get that out three,
Oh yeah.
3, 4 times. But
That's great.
yeah, but that's again like I could have turned anything on because like I've turned on like the 1975 before, some of that more like, poppy synth vibe, but in the indie arena, I don't like modern pop. Um, it's disgusting. But no, I just that's where I find myself. So anyway, Christmas music, I can't do all year round. I just some stuff is great, some stuff I'm like, meh.
Okay.
That was the rant.
Yeah, I mean, not to say I'm gonna listen. I mean, and even now, I'm not gonna listen to just Christmas music, but it's in
Yeah,
the rotation.
yeah,
And who knows? Maybe March, April timeframe, it might still be in the rotation. Maybe
yeah.
not. We'll see.
I
We'll see
think
what
that's
happens.
okay. I think there's some great stuff out there, so that's great.
Agreed.
All right. Did we have more? Oh, we had a few before we wrap this thing up. One of the staples of most dads, I'm not going to say all dads because I'm a dad that does not have this trait or skill as of right now. We put a feeler out there on Instagram. So if you're watching right now or listening and you're not following us on Instagram, please do that. And then please try to interact when we attempt to interact with you. I know we're not great at it. We're always doing it, but we're trying. So we put a feeler out there, some topics that maybe you guys wanted to hear about. Hilariously, the only one that came through was on the topic of chili. So, Chad, drop us some of your chili wisdom.
So by no means am I gonna be dropping recipe because first of all, I don't really make chili. If chili's gonna come in this house, it's gonna be Shauna, and her recipes are like salt. Nah, needs a little more. Okay, maybe that was too much salt. A little bit of this, little of this, little of that, and
Yeah.
it comes out great. I'm not complaining. Like she's a to the taste kind of person,
Okay.
and she can make a chili. Couple ground rules like I like beans in my chili.
Preach.
Um, typically like ground beef is good in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, other, whatever else. Like she'll put stuff in there, and I'm like, you put that in there, but it's good. Like,
Yeah,
um, I tell you, here's a rule for chili. Like, it's better on day two.
it's true.
Like, same thing goes for like spaghetti sauce. Now, I don't know. There's just something about it, like, because it can even be simmering all day and it
Hmm.
smells great and it tastes really good. But you put that sucker in the fridge and you bring it back out and heat it up again, and you're like, what happened?
Yeah.
It's just, it's good. So, and put a little cheese on there if you want, a
Oh
little
yeah.
cornbread.
Little sour
Uh,
cream.
you throw it on a hot dog. Like,
Oh,
don't
that kind
care.
of chili. Okay, okay.
Don't care. It's good. Um,
My
so yeah.
stepdad, my stepdad makes a we call it the turkey chili. We have no other name for it.
Okay.
So it's and he makes it in like the big pot, like a gumbo pot. And then you have it for like 4 days. Like I'm not kidding. You're eating it through day four. The only reason you're not eating it after day four is because they're gone, or you're like, I don't know if I trust this meat anymore. Even though it was cooked to completion.
I don't know if I can take it anymore.
So there is rice in this chili.
Oh, I forgot about rice. Yes. Thank you.
There's a rice in this. There's the turkey, so it's like 3 pounds of ground turkey is thrown in there. There's some kidney beans thrown in there. Is it the kidney beans? It's the red ones. Those are kidney beans. Your standard bean you put in a
Yeah, yeah,
chili.
yeah.
So a chili
Yeah.
bean. So throw those in there. I know that when we eat it, we always throw cheese on top. We probably could throw sour cream. I don't know why I've never thought about doing that. Um, there has got to be something
Mm.
else ingredient wise. And then because it's my stepdad and he is of a Hispanic heritage and therefore really enjoys spicy, he
Okay.
will, depending on his mood and potentially how many margaritas he's had going into it,
Yes. I like where this is going. This is gonna be something good, isn't it? I know.
he, he will just kind of vary the spice count. So
Okay.
you could eat into it and it could be like a hint of spicy and you're like, okay, it's like a salsa, right? Like, okay, it's really good chili, it warms me. And there are days you eat into it and you're like, this has habanero peppers in it and I can't see them and it's burning my mouth and it's hilarious. And it totally just comes down to like his mood that evening. And then he'll sit there and man, we will put that chili back. He's been making it for as long as I've known him. I think there's rice in it. Maybe what I'm thinking is rice is actually the ground turkey. No, there's got to be rice.
Now, the way we
It's great
do
though.
it is, and I remember the first time Shauna did this, I was like, I've never, not to say she invented this. I know other people do it too, but I think hers was the first I had, where you take the chili and you put it over rice.
Okay.
Not a
All
whole lot,
right.
but I mean, look, the Instant Pot, you cook rice in like half a
Dude,
second.
so quick.
So, um, so yeah,
Also the air
we'll
fryer, get an
we'll
air
do
fryer.
that.
Those things are incredible.
Yeah, I'm hearing more about the air fryer these days.
I have made a million chicken nuggets in the air fryer. I'm not gonna lie. I've made myself chicken nuggets in the air fryer. They're great. They taste great. Um, we've also been working on fried pickles in the air fryer. Now we're still working out the kinks as far as our like time ratio and how much oil to not. But dude, it's a legit it's a weapon, man. That thing between the instant pot and the air fryer, ovens, crock pots, and microwaves. Now, some of those things you can't replace. Like the oven, let's be real, you can't replace stovetop combined with the fact that I can make a cake or a pizza in there. But the microwave is definitely and the crock pot are definitely up at a slight risk thanks to the air fryer and the instant pot.
So coming back to chili,
Yes.
I do like my chili chunky, like big old
Oh yeah.
tomatoes, and
Yes.
chunky is good. And I will say, like, that's something that's grown on me. Like, Sean will put stuff in there, like, of course, tomatoes, right? Everybody has tomatoes in there,
Hmm.
onions, maybe some kind of peppers. I mean, I know you talked about like habaneros and stuff. We will typically make ours not like, you know, with spices, but not necessarily spicy, like hot
Right.
spicy. And then man, but Pierce, let me tell you, that guy, he has this insane tolerance for spicy things. So
Oh.
he has a hot sauce. It is called Extreme Regret. We got up in North Carolina. It is a mixture of Carolina Reaper
Nope, fam, I'm out.
and
I'm out.
something else. And it's just, I mean, it feels
Nope.
like there's no taste. It's just like your tongue being stabbed with a knife.
I've actually
And
had a piece of Carolina Reaper before.
he loves it.
Mm-mm.
Loves it.
Mm-mm.
And so
Mm-mm.
he'll, and we've actually required him like, hey, that stuff is not going to do good things to your insides. Let's tone it down a little bit. So he'll throw some hot sauce on there. Um, but two things I want to bring up. First, what do you think about the white chicken chili?
It's actually really good.
Agreed. Agreed. I like it. I like it.
I
We
actually
don't
like white chilies. Like I mean, I like red meat chilies as well, but so one of the cool things at a previous staff position at a different church, they did a really good job as far as staff culture and taking breaks and having fun. And so around this time of the year, they would do a chili cook off, and whoever from staff wanted to enter would enter. And the whole staff, after staff meeting that week, would sit around and enjoy these chilies and vote on them. And so I got to experience a lot of different chilies because we had like 8 to 12 people who would come in with chili. So I got to experience white chili, and it's pretty good.
um that was the other thing is the whole chili cook-off. Like we love them, but we
Yes.
hate them. Like it's a great thing, right? Especially so being that I work in IT, I work with people like all different nationalities, right? A lot of people that come from India, right?
Ooh, the
So
curry, bro.
they'll do the chili too. And theirs
Mm-hmm.
is typically vegan, right? Um
Okay.
and I gotta tell you, for vegan food, like it's good. It's
You
good.
can, oh yeah.
Um, but you go and you try like, and your lunch is like 10 different kinds of chili, like at least for me, like that's just not gonna sit well. Like within minutes, my stomach is making audible noises,
Yeah.
like,
If I'm not
bro, what did you
judging,
do to us?
yeah. If I'm not a judge, I will probably just pick two or three that from like a look appeal, I'm like, I'm gonna eat you.
Yeah, yeah.
That way I don't have that, fiesta of different ingredients going on my stomach, and it's a straight game over.
Straight game. Yeah.
The chili's runny, it will run.
And maybe we should say no more about that.
That's all I got.
So Justin, I had dinner tonight,
That's
and
good.
after all this food talk, I think I'm hungry again.
I Yep.
So it goes, so
That is
the,
how it goes. This is how late night McDonald's happens.
mm, the
Don't
things
do
we
it.
do for the podcast.
Mm. All right.
Well,
Yep.
so I think we've run the gamut. We did World Cup,
We
we
did
did
World Cup.
holidays,
Did holidays.
did chili, which by the
True.
way, I that suggestion seemed random, but I'm here for it, man. Like
I love
that
that.
was good.
I
So
love it.
I want some more of that. And I
We
like
need to do
just
more of that. Yeah.
send it in. And when we have these, when we have these oddball kind of random episodes, we'll just and maybe so listeners, sorry, maybe we should give you more than like 2 hours notice. Um,
Hey,
but
I gave them from
Justin,
this morning. I posted
you
it early this morning.
yeah, I didn't even I think it's a great idea. I didn't even think to post it. So,
No worries.
you have me beat, but yeah, I would love to do that again, and we'll just and we'll get we'll get the word out there, let some people answer us and see
Yeah,
where it goes. But I liked the show the conversation. It was
it was
good.
good.
I didn't really think about it a whole lot. A lot of this was just kind of shooting from the hip.
Yep.
But hey, I'm now going to ask Shauna if she would be so kind as to make chili sometime soon.
Hey, there you
Oh,
go.
maybe a little leftover turkey. Maybe I don't know.
There
I
you
don't.
go. Yeah,
Now
you
we're
could.
now we're now we're now we're cooking.
It's fried
Let's do it.
turkey. I think you could do it. You could definitely be unique. Um, I had a thought and then I lost it, and it might return to me. I have no idea. Hmm. Oh, if you're listening to us and you'd like to be on the show, in our link in the bio is a spot where you can fill out the Google form. We would love to hear from you and love to have you on here. So there's that too.
Yeah, so we have a form and everything. We're getting pretty official over here at the Dad Report. I
Trying.
don't know if we've really talked about that, but yeah, fill it out. That's really the only requirement. Um,
Yeah, it pretty much is.
pretty much.
We will only not let you on if you were just totally a scam. And by
Yeah.
scam, I mean like you're like, hey, I'm a prince in Africa, and if you will wire me, $100 billion.
Although if that prince can bring some dad jokes, I'll consider it. Like
Okay, that's fair. That's
that's
yeah.
it. We're all about good conversation, and everyone we've brought on has had some good stuff about being a dad, being married to somebody who's a dad, coming from a cool dad, having rough dad stories. Like wherever we go with it, I feel like it's good. It's good conversation. And so yeah, I mean we didn't talk too much tonight about dad stuff, but that's okay. We're both dads. So
This
I
is all
feel
part
like
of us
I feel
being
like it
dads is
counts.
yeah, is navigating
100%. Yeah.
holidays and how do we keep focuses and all that stuff impacts our families. So yeah, I think we're okay there.
Ooh, good.
All right.
Okay.
On that note, then, till the next stat report.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode. You can support us by sharing the show with your friends and family. Please subscribe, rate, and leave a review.
Want more of the Dad Report? Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and even join the community over on Discord. Don't forget to send us your dad jokes for a chance to be featured on the show.
Remember the words of Billy Graham about fatherhood. A good father is one of the most unsung, unpraised, unnoticed, and yet one of the most valuable assets in our society.
So if you are a dad, we're cheering you on. If you have a dad, be kind to him. And if you know a dad, tell him about our podcast.